welcome to another episode of the Crispy Noodle Podcast. Let us be the Crispy Noodle in your vegetarian salad of life and boring news. Folks, it's our job to give you the most interesting bits in world sports, entertainment, odd news of the past week and present it to you in this meal for your mind that is the Crispy Noodle Podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in. And there you go. I was off on a good run, and then my stand decided to fall on me. So there you go. Interesting. What a way to start off the show. We have good.
What was this?
What, you didn't like my pointy?
It was good.
My pointy finger?
It was good.
Hey, what's up? How you doing?
You guys got to tune into the video feed.
Hey, Toots, how you doing?
You're like,
yeah.
welcome to the Crispy Noodle Podcast. That was
Yeah.
good. The
I don't know.
finger right at the camera. It was good.
I was ready to roll.
You're engaging the video audience.
I was ready to go, and
You
then
were. And then the microphone
my
gave out on
microphone stand was like, oh,
you.
God.
You set the energy at a certain level, and the microphone just couldn't match it.
Yeah, the microphone stand, I think, got embarrassed.
It got embarrassed.
He was like, oh, God, he's already pointing. Oh, no, this is going to be a long night.
But, it just goes to show you that we can hit you with anything here on the podcast. Do you need a new microphone stand?
I might need to invest in one next week. Yeah, this seems to be a little off, but we'll get through it.
Okay, we'll survive.
Yeah, we will survive. But nevertheless, welcome to the Crispy Noodle Podcast. Just when you think we have an easy introduction, everything goes off the rails.
Off the rails. That's okay, though.
Yeah.
We make it work.
Yep. So before we get to all the news at hand, we like to do a little personal bit, let you know what we've been up to in the past week. So, Mikey, how you doing? You're representing Mass Effect tonight. You got your N7 shirt on.
Representing Mass Effect. I love Mass Effect. Yeah, I just felt like Mass Effect today.
Yep.
So.
Well, it's also the game of the month, right?
It is the game of the month on.
I know I'm cutting into your segment.
You're cutting into the segment, but yeah, it's the PlayStation Plus game of the month. So we've been singing the praises for Mass Effect for years.
Right. So
but if you've avoided it, it's free on PlayStation.
Right. If you've never played Mass Effect, this is now no excuses. Like it's free on
all three games. They're free on PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. So it's
the Holy Shepherd Trinity.
Ridiculous value there.
Yeah.
So
absolutely go check it out. I mean, it's definitely one of our favorite video game franchises of all time.
Absolutely. Yeah. So
other than that, though, what's up? What's happening in Costanzo Country? Coming at you
in Costanzo Country. Just getting into the holiday spirit. Doing my online shopping. Watching all the Christmas movies. I'm a special kind of white guy. I am very, very special. Very special.
I'm a special kind of white guy.
Thank you. I am. But no, I've just been getting into the holiday season. I watched. There's a new retelling of Christmas Carol. Actually, this is something we could both talk about, because you have your own Christmas Carol story. But there's a new retelling of the Christmas Carol on Apple. I think it's Apple TV Plus, called Spirited. It's a musical with Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds, where it's a completely new take on it, where the ghosts are like running this. It's kind of like this. I don't know what you want to call it. Like almost like an organization where every year they have to pick somebody to redeem, and that's what they've been doing since Scrooge's time. It's like the ghosts, but now in modern day, and they have to find somebody to redeem for the year.
Yeah.
And Ryan Reynolds is the guy they have to redeem. And it's fun because they all have like their their communications department and like the prop and set builders, and it's really, really funny. And Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds just absolutely kill it. The songs, the humor, but also some of those like more like not thought-provoking, but like, sentimental moments. It was really good. It was very, very catchy, very fun. So if you have Apple TV Plus, go check it out. A more humorous take on A Christmas Carol compared to the drab and the dreary.
Yep. So on the flip side to that, if you want an 80s synthesizer fever dream of A Christmas Carol, I would highly recommend to go to YouTube and visit your old friends, Star Kid Productions. If that name sounds familiar, that is because they're the same team that did a Harry Potter musical a while back.
We learned
back in 2009.
Yeah, we learned tonight.
Yep, we
quite
did
to our
research.
dismay.
Yeah, we're a little old. Oh well, but nevertheless, they released that troupe. They released a new way to look at A Christmas Carol through the wonderful gift of the 1980s synthesizer, new wave, synth wave majesty
It's wonderful. I mean, you showed me the opening
melodic
number.
music.
Yeah, it's wonderful. You showed me the
Yes.
opening number. It's so catchy. I'm gonna have it stuck in my head the entire episode. The bah humbug.
Yes, the
Bah
whole thing.
humbug.
The whole thing is just a great 80s synthesizer fever dream, and I love every second of it. So much so that Rachel and we found out that they were touring and they were in the area on Saturday night. So
That's incredible.
we got tickets and we're just like, yeah, let's go see them. So
I didn't know that, one, they toured, and two, that they even knew where this part of the country was.
yeah,
So, but here they were right here in the area. That's
Yep.
really cool.
They played at the TLA right on South Street. It was great. And yeah, got to walk down South Street. Got to see a couple of my old haunts, and
Nice.
it was a blast. And there was I should have done some research in this. There was a German bar and eatery that we were at, and I got some schnitzel, and that was
Ooh.
that was the first time I had some serious schnitzel in a while.
Some serious
It was
schnitzel.
some
Okay.
serious schnitzel, yeah. So that was my dinner beforehand. It was amazing.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
That sounds like an awesome evening.
It
Some
was.
tasty German food, some, fun blast from the past,
Just-
YouTube sensations.
If you have to go to the TLA or if you have to go to South Street in the near future, Google the German restaurant that's on South Street, and you'll find it.
just Google German food and
It is.
hope for the best.
I just forget the name now off the top of my head, and I
You'll
forgot to
you'll
research it.
remember like an hour from now.
Yeah. But that was our dinner, and then we went to go see the show, which was amazing.
Nice.
To see Star Kid Productions put on so they call it VHS A Christmas Carol. Now, obviously, since now they've left Philly, that's the only way you can see it now is on YouTube.
But that's awesome.
Um,
You can go watch it on YouTube though.
Yes.
Like, completely for free. The
Right,
entire thing.
the entire show. They put it right up there, and it's only like an hour-long show, so I mean, you can definitely knock it out in a
Perfect.
night.
Doesn't need to be longer than that.
No, because I mean, it's one of those things where I'm glad they know. Like everybody knows the story of Scrooge.
Right.
You don't need to go through the whole,
Right.
Introduction. Blah 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 blah. No, we
You
know
go
what it is.
right
There's
into
three.
it.
There's three ghosts coming. We know that. Just hit us with what's your take on it.
And that's something that I'm thinking about right now as we're talking about these two very different versions of A Christmas Carol. One of the things I love about the story is it's been adapted so many times. There's a version out there for everyone and everything.
By this point, yeah.
You got the serious versions, you got the Muppets, you got the animated, you got the musicals, you got the YouTube version, you got Captain Picard did A Christmas Carol.
Yeah. Bill Murray did a funny
Bill
one.
Murray
Scrooged.
did Scrooge. Yeah, I mean, there's so many different versions. Like if you don't watch it at least 2 or 3 times over the Christmas holiday, like what are you doing?
Yeah.
It's a
That's
classic tale.
It's between that and like A Christmas Story. I don't know
Yeah.
how you get through Christmas without.
Some people,
hearing
we've talked about it before. Some people don't like it.
I know. I don't understand. Like, I don't know how you celebrate Christmas without A Christmas Story.
Some people do not like it. On the other hand, I think it perfectly captures all those little like things that everybody goes through the holiday season.
Yeah.
Traveling to somewhere and the car breaks down, or struggling to get the tree up, or weird Christmas gifts from like some far distant aunt. There's certain hallmarks that everybody kind of experiences growing up during Christmas time.
Yep.
And it just perfectly captures them.
Yep.
But anyway, I digress. The point is, watch your Christmas movies. It's the holiday season.
Yep. And don't forget Die Hard.
That's
That's another one. You have to remember Die Hard.
we won't beat that horse again. But yes, Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
Yes. And Eyes Wide Shut. All right. Let's move on.
Anyway,
Yeah. There you go. All right.
at this point, I just let him have it.
We're listening Christmas movies. We're not even at the Christmas episode of our podcast. So we need to get away and get back to the news at hand. We're off topic, so let's get back to the week that was. We've got some news topics in the world of sports. So let's launch into the sports sampler.
So you're not good at sports. It's a very small part of life.
Sports. In your face. Ha ha!
Oh yeah, sports coming at you in your face. And not only did the Eagles win, I think they had what was called a signature win on Sunday afternoon.
Mamma mia! Boobies.
What does this guy think he's an Indian?
Like fresh eggs?
She's a human!
Yep, the Eagles hosted the Titans, but that was about as nice as they got because they crushed them 35-10 on Sunday afternoon and proved to the NFL record best 11-1 so far this season. Man,
I called it.
yeah,
They beat them through the air.
This is a game.
Absolutely crushed them.
This is a game I thought Derrick Henry was going to run all over us, but the Philadelphia defense made sure that that was not going to happen in South Philly.
Yeah. So let's pick apart this game. What were some of the biggest positives? I mean, right off the bat, this is the thing that I mentioned in weeks previous, and I have to mention it again here. And I don't think that people are talking about it enough, is that this team can beat you any way that it wants to. Because there were games in the last couple of weeks we had to win defensively, games where we had to win on the ground. We went from going 380 yards on the ground to this week going over 380 yards through the air.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever it takes, this team finds a way to get it done. And I don't know what a better mark of a quality team there is than being able to beat another team through, any side of the ball.
Yeah, and it's funny. The Titans defense came out with heavy box sets, and they basically were saying, we're not going to let you run 300 yards all over us.
Yeah.
And Jalen Hurts said, all right, and just started slinging the ball.
Right. And whatever the defense shows us, we have an answer to it.
So far, it seems, yeah. Jalen Hurts, 380 pass yards, only had 10 incompletions, 3 passing touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown. So fantastic fantasy day if you have Jalen Hurts on your squad. But I just want to say, A.J. Brown, revenge game came into focus here.
Oh, yeah.
8 receptions for 119 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns to burn his former team. And I think what could one logistically connect the dots and say that he caused the Titans general manager to get fired because he did get let go yesterday. So
I mean, you don't
trade away
Right.
a guy and then he comes back against your team and lights it up on you.
Right. Because
What did you do? You should have realized,
Right.
That you had this talent on your team and you couldn't do anything with them.
And from what I understand, Brown wanted to stay in Tennessee. I mean, when we traded for him at the time, there was no rumor about him moving. He wanted to stay in Tennessee. Contract talks were a little bit dicey, but it seemed like there was mutual interest there. But then he got traded because, Tennessee decided, we just don't value you that much. And they thought, we'll just draft your replacement, which they tried.
They did, yeah.
They tried, and clearly it's not working out.
Yeah. Do you remember that night of the draft? Because, for number one, that night of the draft, I was in New Orleans on my honeymoon. But I remember on the screen, they were trying to justify as oh, this is a brilliant move by the Titans. Because they're taking their current pick, drafting a wide receiver that matches A.J. Brown's stats.
Yep.
So basically, they're getting a bonus Eagles pick and just doing a trade with the Eagles and getting rid of an asset that they were going to have to pay $100 million for. And everybody was like, oh, the Titans are smart. Well, boy, does game film prove differently because A.J. Brown has transcended to an elite level this season.
Yeah.
And the chickens came home to roost in this game with A.J. Brown lighting it up, 119 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns on his former team. And then the Titans general manager getting fired.
Yeah, well, it makes sense for the GM to get fired because, it's not just about the A.J. Brown performance. That I think was the nail in the coffin, but this team is at the end of its run. Right,
the Titans.
They've had every opportunity the past couple years to really.
They were the number 1 seed last year.
They were the number 1 seed, and they've been the top of the AFC South for a couple years now. It's a weak division, and
you've had Derrick Henry.
Yeah, and you just cannot get it done. And so now they're approaching the end of this window. They have no solution. I don't think they have a solution at quarterback, do they?
No, I think Tannehill's gone after this season.
Tannehill's gone. They're not going to want to pay him big bucks. He's not worth it. You just got rid of A.J. Brown. That defense that was once dominant is looking average.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's time to... This is like their last great hope before a potential rebuild. So, what better way to start the rebuild than with a fresh set of eyes at GM?
Yeah. So an interesting little turmoil with Tennessee Titans.
And the Eagles did it.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah,
we
it
were
is.
kind of the nail in the coffin.
It is. The Eagles were.
They were
kind of-
probably like, we're getting close to rebuild. Tannehill's not worth the money. Derrick Henry's not getting any younger. Kind of, we've been squandering leading the AFC South, but the Eagles, they just embarrassed them.
Yep.
Because everybody said, you said it last week, that everybody circled this game. This is going to be the game. This is going to be the game. This is going to be the game where the Eagles are really tested. The Eagles just come out and they just smoke the Titans. Like, it was like a comedy.
By the second half.
By the
Yeah.
second half,
I mean, so basically the first quarter and the first half of this
it was
game.
close-ish. Yeah.
Yes, the Titans were doing everything they can to shut this offense down. I mean, the running game, they were trying to establish that, and it wasn't getting off the ground.
Yeah.
But
Which is,
then-
one, again, really exciting to see, because that's been a concern, that we were able to shut down the run.
yeah. But then the Eagles were able to go and unleash their aerial assault on their possessions, and then they just ran away with it in the second and third quarter.
We just have too many weapons.
And this is a team without Dallas Goddard.
Right.
Wait until
comes
Dallas
back,
Goddard
yeah.
comes back.
We had two receivers pass 100 yards receiving,
Yep.
which I don't think has been done in, I think it's like a decade or something. for
Yeah.
the Eagles, or something close to it. I mean, we're breaking all kinds of records. My brother said it weeks ago. He said this team has the same feel as 2017. I was like, JB, I don't know. 2017. He's like, yeah, maybe not the record, but you watch. It's the same vibe as that team.
Well, I'll tell you what.
And so far, knock on wood,
they've got a really good just depth of quality talent on this roster. But you know what else too is I feel like a lot of dominoes are also falling apart right now. You've got teams like the Buccaneers. They don't know what they're doing on offense. Brady looks old. You've got teams like the Saints that are half of their team is injured. I don't know if you got a chance to look at their injury report.
it's wild.
Literally half of their team is injured.
Yeah.
The NFC West is like randomly in chaos. All the teams in the NFC West like have lost their quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Or they're playing video games.
And the NFC North is just Minnesota.
And yeah, the NFC North is just Minnesota, and just it's just right
It's
now
Minnesota and Cowboys.
the NFC is boiled down to just Dallas, Philadelphia, and Minnesota.
We beat both of those teams already.
Yeah. So the question is if we have to in the playoffs, can we beat them again? And we'll see.
We will see. But right now, we're beating teams that everybody said we shouldn't be able to beat.
Yeah.
So, that I take as a huge positive. And our division is the cracks are starting to show. Dallas had a very impressive performance, but the Commanders and the Giants tied. So
the most pathetic thing that a team could do, according to Mike.
absolutely, I saw that. I was like, man, you guys suck. Everybody's having like this amazing season. You guys go out there and tie.
Whiff on a tie.
Just-
yeah.
We were NFC beast mode, and now it's like I don't know what happened there.
Yeah.
But-
That's also going to really mess things up because.
It's gonna. Oh man, wouldn't that be amazing if like one of those teams somehow leapfrog the Cowboys? Like the Cowboys drop a game.
Well, the Cowboys
or two.
would have to drop a couple games.
They'd have to drop two, I think.
Two. Yeah.
That's possible.
It's
We'll
possible.
beat them.
So that would
That's
be one.
one.
Yeah, and then they got to get another one. But it's something like now because of the tie and the way the bye weeks have been stacked, Washington is technically out because I think it's the 49ers have more wins or something like that. Like the tie.
I have no idea.
The tie messes everything up.
I'm not going to get into it again, but you know what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, there should be some way to finish these games off.
It's stupid.
But nevertheless,
Yeah,
also,
right now Washington is the 8th seed
yeah,
at 7-5-1, but Seattle is 7-5.
7-5. Yeah,
I don't know
it's
how
weird.
I don't know.
It's something like the game didn't happen, but they still played a game.
Right.
It's weird. It's weird how they come up with this. It'll all get
It'll
sorted
get sorted. It'll
because
get sorted.
everybody eventually plays 17 games. But it's weird with the way that tie came in at this time in the season and the bye weeks the way
Right.
that they are.
Because right now Seattle is 583 the win percentage, and Washington is 577.
Yeah.
Because of the tie. I don't know
It's weird.
how that works,
Yeah.
but
It's a weird system. Don't do ties. They really need to come up with just do continual sudden death or something. Somebody's just gonna blink and sweat or something, and
something will give.
even a safety, just something, because that was actually a legitimate option. I was watching the end of that Washington Giants game, and the Giants, they gave the ball back to Watt. They punted the ball back, and the guy did a coffin corner punt, and it landed like on their own 2-yard line, and Heineke got sacked, and it was like, oh my god, that was almost a safety.
Yeah,
He almost
I saw
lost the
that.
game.
He was very, very close.
So yeah, why not? Overtime game can end in a safety.
But, enough about Washington and the Giants. Let's circle back to the Eagles. This was a fantastic
Yes.
game. Just I don't know if there's
A
anything.
signature win is what
Signature win. That's a
I've
good way to
been
put
hearing.
it. Yeah.
because the last 2 weeks have really showed the variety of ways that this Eagles offense can hurt you.
Yeah.
And they're trying to create this system where it's like, pick your poison. Do you want us to try and run it down your throats, or do you want us to air it out what hurts?
Right. Because, it's... And then I just keep thinking, once we get Dallas Goedert back, it's going to be even more difficult.
Yep,
because you can't double cover. There were times where they're doubling AJ Brown. You just go to Devontae Smith,
right.
Or if you double Devontae,
or even Quez Watkins, he was having a good game.
Quez Watkins can hurt teams too. And then if you push those safeties back, then guess what happens underneath? You get Dallas Goedert and Miles Sanders all day.
Yeah,
So it's just the versatility, the tenacity of this team being able to win. Also, for the first team all year, special teams. Covey had some amazing returns.
Yeah, special teams.
And we were stopping them as well. The coverage teams were doing great. Defense was playing great. I love to see Nakobe Dean, the rookie linebacker, come in, played, I think it was like 30% of the defensive snaps, replacing an injured linebacker, led the team in tackles. So like everything is like kind of trending positively right now.
Yep.
Reed Blankenship has to fill in for Gardner Johnson, and again had another very good game. Everything is just clicking right now, at the right time.
Right now.
Yeah.
But I think that brings us into a good transition to our next segment, where we got to look into the future for the upcoming slate of games. 4 games in our Fantastic Four picks for week number 14. And let's predict what will happen this upcoming weekend. Mikey, what are the games that we're going to talk about?
All right, first up, we have an NFC playoff preview. It's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the San Francisco 49ers. This is a tough one because one team is old, one team is injured. Rich, who's going to win this matchup?
This is shocking. I told Mikey this fact, and his jaw hit the floor, and this is true. Tampa Bay right now is being quarterbacked by Tom Brady. The 49ers have lost Trey Lance and now recently Jimmy Garoppolo. They are turning to their third stringer, Purdy.
Don't even know the guy.
He was Mr. Irrelevant. He was literally the last pick of...
Not so irrelevant now.
Yeah, he was literally the last pick of the NFL draft this year. He is 21 years old. Tom Brady joined the league in 2000.
Yeah. Tom Brady was drafted before this kid was even born.
Yes.
Yikes.
If that's not a sign that Tom Brady needs to retire anytime soon, I don't know what is. That is ridiculous. I don't even think Brett Favre got to that point. I
don't know.
I can't imagine another scenario where this has happened, that the rookie is younger than the other team's quarterback's career.
Tom Brady might be one of the oldest to play the game, I think.
Yeah. Definitely quarterbacks. I mean, the other thing I can think of is like Morton Anderson. He was like a kicker.
Yeah, kicker, yeah.
Until like he was 48 or something, but he was a kicker.
Right. That's a little different.
Yeah.
But
anyway,
can the old guy get it done? I say no. I say even with the rookie, San Fran has the defense to stop the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Their record is just a better record. Tampa Bay plays in an incredibly weak division, and they're just 500.
They almost blew that game against the Saints on Monday night.
And the Saints are like one of the bottom teams in the league. I think
Because they're hurt. They're
Yeah.
literally playing like third stringers.
So, I'm going San Fran because they're at home. They have the league-leading defense right now, even with the rookie. You know, hey, maybe fresh legs, right? I mean, what do you think?
No, I agree with you all the way. I think the 49ers take this. The Tampa Bay,
I just can't trust Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay has just turned into an old car that won't start now. They used to be a vintage car. Now they're a car that won't start at all.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been amazing
You
how
got to
they've
drive it once in a while.
Yeah, it's amazing how much they've just come to a standstill recently. There's just something different that this team has been in this year that doesn't seem to move down the field as efficiently as they used to. No, I like the 49ers in this matchup all the way, even though they're being led by some kid named Purdy or whatever.
Hey,
Purdy, whatever the
it
hell's
makes a
name
good
is.
narrative if Mr. Irrelevant beats the GOAT.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Now,
Although it probably won't be him. It'll probably just be Christian McCaffrey running it 30 times or something.
probably. So let's switch things up and head over to the AFC where we see a battle for the AFC East. This team keeps coming back. You said that they were going to be awful. They're terrible. They're not going to live up to the hype. We're never going to talk about them. This is like the fourth time they've been in the Fantastic Four. The New York Jets are traveling to Buffalo to face off against the Bills. Last time, Rich, despite what you said, they beat the Bills. Can they do it again?
No!
Every time you pick against them, I'm pretty sure they win.
I'm picking against them anyway. No. The Jets are so dysfunctional. They're going back and forth now between Mike White and whether or not they should bring Zach Wilson back.
The most generic name ever.
Yeah, legend Mike White. Oh, yeah. Just fantastic.
It's the most common name, hi, and also just like the most bland color, Mike
yeah.
White.
Yeah, no, come on. Put your thinking hats on. It's the Buffalo Bills. The Jets are... This is a mirage. I cannot believe the Jets are not. I can't see the Jets in the playoffs.
How did they keep winning games?
I know, but they're not.
I don't. No, I mean I agree. I actually agree. It's going to be the Buffalo Bills because they're in the top 8 of every single category: passing, rushing, offense, defense. I don't understand how the Jets. It's their defense. They have the 4th ranked.
They have a good defense. Jets do have a good defense, but that's not enough to win games, especially when you're talking about teams that are Super Bowl favorites.
The Bills have been there. They've done that. They have the talent. They have the experience. They have the stats. They have the record. If the Jets end up sweeping them this year, that's like, I don't know, start making bets now because that would be absolutely ridiculous. I think it's Bills as well.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
No, it's a long season. Sometimes you get lucky and you pick up a winning over the Bills.
You're like so perturbed that the Jets are still in this conversation.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Well, how about these two teams? Another AFC East team. This is another AFC playoff preview. The Miami Dolphins at the LA Chargers. This is a Sunday primetime game. Rich, the Chargers not doing as well as we thought they would. Miami, though, surprising some people. I thought they were going to be decent, but not this good. What do you think?
Oh, I think you might be switching this up here. I'm actually a little disappointed in the Dolphins last week. They kind of folded over against the 49ers, who at the time, they were going through their crisis when Garoppolo got hurt. That should have been the moment to strike back in that game and turn the game around. And instead, the Dolphins just kind of laid flat and let the 49ers defense suffocate them. I was actually a little disappointed in them last week. On the flip side, the Chargers... This is basically a must-win game for them.
They have to stay alive.
If they don't win this game, I think they fall to 8-7 losses.
Yeah, they would be 6-7.
Yeah, so that pretty much throws them, or they would have to pretty much win out. I feel like, especially in a very competitive AFC wildcard race, they would have to pretty much win out if they lose this game. I'm gonna label this as a must-win for the LA Chargers. I'm going to say they pull it off. I think desperation is going to be a big factor here. Brandon Staley, he needs to come out in full force and win. He needs to have a signature win because I'm hearing chatter that if the Chargers don't make the playoffs with a talented roster that they've got, he might be on his way out as head coach.
Ooh.
So I'm saying there's a very strong air of necessity and desperation on the Chargers side that I'm not seeing with the Dolphins.
I mean, you're right that they have a very talented roster. They should not be where they are right now. But here's the big difference. Miami was facing one of the best defenses in the league last week. The Chargers, not so much. I know numbers don't tell the whole story, but 24th in defense. I think Miami might come back and, maybe get back in the swing of things. Their offense has been stellar all year long. You have to think that, like you said, there's bumps in the road every once in a while. You drop a game here and there. So I think maybe the Dolphins kind of course correct and win a game that they also have to win if they want to stay competitive in that very difficult AFC East. So I'm actually going with the Dolphins here. I think that they're going to get back on track here against the Chargers because the Chargers are kind of wibbly wobbling a little bit this season.
I'm going to phrase it like this. If the Dolphins lose, I think they still have a path to the playoffs. If the Chargers lose, I think that's game over.
You are correct. The Dolphins will still make the playoffs, but the Chargers, they're on the outside looking in if they lose. This is definitely a must-win game for the Chargers, but not every team wins their must-win games.
Well, if that's the case, then Brandon Staley's going to be looking for a job, I feel like.
Well, we'll see this week. And finally, our very own hometown team, the Philadelphia Eagles, are traveling to the Meadowlands. Are we going to get a miracle in the Meadowlands? Will we put down another division opponent? Rich, what do you think here?
Division games are very tough to predict, but, man, I don't know how the Giants can be proud of themselves after tying. That is so weird. It's almost like I would have rather preferred, if I was a Giants fan, I would almost rather prefer that they had lost. So that would like kick their asses in the gear.
They said that it felt like a loss, about the tie. They're like, we were so bad. So even NFL players don't want to tie. They would rather lose.
Yeah.
Not good.
I kind of try and go by kind of momentum swings and everything, and feeling like what the team's current state of consciousness is, and I don't know what to pick apart from the Giants after that tie. I feel like they're so foggy after that weird game where they just couldn't put together a drive in the fourth quarter and overtime. I mean, if they go in with an offense like that, they're not going to stand a chance against the Eagles. So, I mean, I'm going to optimistically say it's going to be Eagles, but Giants, I don't know what the hell you guys are doing.
Yeah, I'm going with the Eagles as well. We always play really, really good football against the Giants, particularly in the Meadowlands. Not only that, but the Eagles, they're just flying high off the win. And to your point about the Giants, they say that it feels like a loss when they tied, but a tie is just very, ambiguous.
Yeah.
You're kind of just, coasting along. It's like, is there anything to correct? Is there anything to, not correct? There's no good, there's no bad. It's just kind of there. So I'm going with the Eagles.
Yeah, I know. I feel like this is, Eagles should take it. But it's just a weird final note from the Giants at the end of that week.
Yeah. We proved that we can stop a big-time rusher in Derrick Henry. I would think that we would come up with a similar game plan against the Giants to Saquon Barkley. To our point, the Eagles are favored by 7 on the road.
All right. So there you go. That's our fantastic 4 picks. Before we end the sports sampler, let's do our unique segment where we're going to do a topic in 3 minutes or less with the 3-minute drill. There's the clock. What do you have, Mike?
All right, this week we got one big story here. Former Carolina Panthers quarterback Baker Mayfield requested a release and was recently granted his request. The Panthers released him, and then he was snatched up off waivers by the LA Rams, who are in desperate need of a starter after quarterback Matt Stafford was placed on IR from a spinal cord contusion. That sounds bad. He's not expected to come back. What do you think here about this whole situation, about Baker Mayfield, about the Rams making a move for a quarterback? They're kind of out of it at this point. And then what do we make of the Panthers as well?
Yeah, I think the first thing we need to reconsider is the fact that Baker was supposed to start a new chapter with Carolina, and he only lasted, 13 weeks?
To be fair, though, it is Carolina.
Yeah,
it's not like starting a new leaf with a good team.
Yeah, but still, you're not. For you to be instantly put on waivers, that shows you're not a team player. That shows you're not melding with the staff. You're not taking advice from the coaches. You're not being a contributing part of the team. So if the Browns were willing to get rid of you for a very bad quarterback, and the team following up the trade for you got rid of you in 13 weeks, I don't know. That doesn't sound good on Baker Mayfield. It sounds a lot like Carson Wentz. Like, he better go to the Rams and he better be a good little boy, because I don't know, if you can't make anything work with the Rams, you're done. I think you're resigned now to being a backup or a third stringer.
Yeah. So I mean, with the see, here's the thing: he was not bad with the Browns. Like, he was an average starter. He was like the 16th best quarterback in the league kind of starter. He was just there. He wasn't terrible. He wasn't lighting the world on fire. He goes to Carolina. They're trash. They're awful. So I'm kind of willing to give him a pass in Carolina. But with the Rams, if he can't get anything going with the players that they have, then it's starting to look a little iffy there for Baker Mayfield. But I'm willing to give him a pass on the Panthers, because you said before the season they look like a franchise who didn't want to compete.
Yeah, they didn't.
So we can't turn around and say they don't want to compete and then it didn't work out for him. Well, you sent him to a Pop Warner squad. So of course, and then he did request the trade. He's like, I got to get the hell out of here, which, you can make whatever point you want to about, being loyal and being a good teammate. But, at the end of the day, it wasn't a right fit, and he had to get out. And so we'll see how he does with the Rams. I'm just curious as to why the Rams even bothered. They're out of it.
Yeah, but
what do they hope to achieve here?
maybe you can get a bargain here.
Like a cheap deal?
I mean, why not? Especially with Matt Stafford having an injury here, that could do it. That's actually Matt Stafford getting hurt.
Right.
He actually got hurt right at the end of the 3-minute drill there.
So Matt Stafford absolutely should have retired after winning the Super Bowl.
It would have been a good way to end his career, but I mean,
dude suffers his whole career in Detroit, injured in Detroit. Like, that right there is a horror story. Goes to the Rams, immediately wins the Super Bowl. Just ride off. Right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, how old is he?
He's not that old, but you don't pass up the Disney movie magic moment.
You do if you're going to make more money.
Oh, please! He would have had endorsements coming out of every which way at him.
Nah, if he's not old, I mean, he's got to be 33, 34?
You'll appreciate this because you like Seinfeld. You want to go out on top.
Well, yeah, but also if you want to keep making money.
He's 34, so he probably has.
Yeah,
he's got a spinal cord contusion.
Well, now he does. Yeah, that's not good.
The guy is one bad step on a Lego away from being a cripple.
Watch out, kids.
Don't leave your toys. Does he have 17 of them? Or is that Phillip Rivers?
No, that's Phillip Rivers.
Okay. I couldn't remember which quarterback had 17 kids. It was something
it's all LA. You're close.
It's
LA
all
Chargers.
Yeah, LA,
you're very close.
I don't know what they're doing. Not playing football.
No. And there you go. With that, we got to wrap up the sports sampler. We got to get away from gossip talk of quarterbacks and go to a break. But don't go anywhere, because we've still got the entertainment hot tray and then the non-fortune cookie odd news coming at you when we get back from the break. Don't go anywhere. This is the Crispy Noodle Podcast.
Ready for the weekend? Happy Friday. Hi, my name's Marie, and I'm an artist who's been making Happy Friday doodles every week for over 7 years. And now you can own my art collection in this Volume 1 and Volume 2 art series. These doodles span across multiple themes, yearly festivities, various countries, languages, and more. Both coffee table books have something for everyone and are the perfect conversation starter or gift for a friend. Really, anyone who enjoys a good weekend. Available on Amazon, Ingram, BookBaby, Barnes & Noble, and more. Visit happyfridaydoodles.com/books and get your copies today. Let's celebrate the best day of the week. Happy Friday.
If you go to Taco Bell at 3 a.m, this is what you're going to get. Yeah.
That clip is already coming into play.
yes,
I love it.
already. So there you go.
Stop.
What happened?
The thing went on.
Well, how did that turn on? That was
I don't
weird.
know. The fart sound.
The fart sound turned Amazon on?
I think the
What?
fart sound turned on my Echo.
What the
I
hell?
don't know. It turned on.
What are you doing, Jeff Bezos? What are you
Jeff
into?
Bezos, he's listening to fart
He's
sounds.
listening to our fart sounds. Oh my god.
I changed the trigger word to fart. I got to fart at it now. I don't know what happened.
That's really awkward. You're gonna have to. Excuse me.
Excuse me. How can I help you?
You may need some bowel.
Do you want me to automatically order you Pepto-Bismol? I don't know why. I don't know why I'm talking to it solely through farts now.
It actually, you fart into it.
Fart
and-
once for yes and twice for no.
No. Actually, you fart into the device, and then
Yeah.
Amazon can determine
Oh,
what
what you-
medicine you need.
Oh, right. Wow. That's next level right there. Or what you've been eating and what you want to reorder.
Oh.
I detect Cheetos. Would you like to subscribe?
Would you like a bulk order of Cheetos?
Oh, yes, please.
Cheetos ordered.
Cheetos. That story took a turn.
Yeah.
Cheetos ordered.
Okay. All right. There you go. The latest from Jeff Bezos and Amazon.
It's amazing technology, I tell you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're back here on the Crispy Noodle Podcast. We are done with the sports sampler. All the good news there from Philly. It's so far so good here.
Yeah.
2022 has been a pretty good year for Philly sports fans, I feel like,
Yeah, so far.
so far. But
Fingers crossed, knock on wood, that continues that way.
yep. We hope the success will continue into our next segment. Folks, it is time for the entertainment entree.
And now, the latest in movies.
The Simpson guy writes to movies. Dear Die Hard, you rock. Especially when that guy was on the roof.
Music,
I know what that is. That's music.
video games,
I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite store on the Citadel.
celebrities,
You really know Warren Beatty?
Yes, I do. I took a leak next to him once at the Golden Globes.
and more.
You were the all-singing, all-dancing crap of the world.
This is the entertainment entree.
Yes, entertainment entree time, and it is time for this segment where Mike is going to let you know what you should keep an eye out for this upcoming weekend with movies and video games and stuff like that in Mike's This Week in Entertainment. All right, Mikey, what do you got for the people?
All right. Well, in movies / television, however you want to count it, we have a new Netflix release here. Guillermo del Toro's animated Pinocchio releases this week on Netflix. This is the second. That's right, the second Pinocchio remake this year. Unlike the live-action one, though, this one's actually good. Apparently, it's doing very well with the critics. It has an 83 on Metacritic and a 97% on Rotten Tomatoes. It is a stop-motion musical, and it makes Del Toro's animation debut. It features stellar voice cast with Ewan McGregor, Finn Wolfhard, Kate Blanchett, Christoph Waltz, Tilda Swinton, and more. It looks really, really good. The animation looks very unique and whimsical. And I'm sure Guillermo del Toro has some of his weird, oddity and strangeness woven into it. It's a strange story to begin with, so I'm eager to see his take on the whole thing. And again, that's on Netflix this week, so go check that out. And finally, it's a short week in entertainment. In video games, New month equals new free games for PlayStation Plus and Xbox Live Gold subscribers. And like Rich mentioned at the top of the show, the big news, of course, is that Mass Effect Remastered is the game for PlayStation gamers. It's a trilogy of, I think, some of the best sci-fi games of the past couple of generations. I mean, the PlayStation 3 generation, it didn't get better than Mass Effect. Even with the ending controversy, it's one of the best.
And it's still, I think, one of the most unique stories I've ever played, just because of the fact that everyone makes different decisions and everyone has different storylines and different endings.
I mean,
I've never seen anything like it.
Every time you talk to somebody who plays Mass Effect, it's the same questions. It's like, who did you romance? What major decisions did you make? What ending did you get? You know, and
who died? You know,
who died where? And I mean, even us, we play games in a very similar fashion. Sometimes we had major differences with who lived, who died, who we romanced, and that gave each of us a completely different appreciation and perspective on the game.
Yeah.
It's incredible when you have those moments in the gaming community. And it's just a stellar game and fantastic story.
Yeah, and I mean, I know the ending was a little controversial, but I still think for the entire ride, it's worth your time. And if you've somehow made it this far and not played this game, now you have no excuse. Go get it on the PlayStation Store and give it a whirl.
Yeah, absolutely. Completely remastered. They did a great job with it. I played it already. It's fantastic. All together, one package. And yeah, I mean, it's free. If you have PlayStation Plus, it's free. So no excuses.
Yep.
Go check it out. And that's what we're looking forward to this week in entertainment.
All right, there you go. That's Mike's This Week in Entertainment. All right, we're going to do some trailer talk because there were 3 big trailers that we're all fans of here at the Crispy Noodle. Mike really loves the alliteration here. Triple trailer talk.
That's right. We got 3 awesome trailers for 3 of our favorite properties. The first of which we've already seen a trailer for. This is just another big slice of this upcoming show. It's The Last of Us on HBO.
Yeah, HBO released the full trailer.
January 15th. I mean, it is so close. I'm getting chills just thinking about it. And this trailer gives me even more chills. I mean, so the first trailer was fantastic, but this one, we got to see almost all of the major characters. We saw Henry and Sam and Ellie and Joel and Nadine and, I mean, just everybody, right?
Yeah.
I mean, what does that do for you, seeing the whole cast come to life, seeing Nick Offerman as Bill and seeing some of these secondary characters that we know and love.
Yeah,
finally getting to see them in motion.
So, yeah, we have 3 trailers we're going to talk about here. The Last of Us trailer is the one I'm the most confident in. I really feel like this is going to be a hit for HBO. It really seems like the visuals are correct that they've gotten from the video games. The mood seems to be spot on. I mean, really, I think it's just going to come down to the acting. As long as the acting is pretty good, which I wouldn't expect anything less from this cast, I think this is going to end up being one of the best shows of the year.
I mean, perfectly said. The visuals. I mean, we got our first look at the infected last time in the previous trailer, but we saw like the fungal growths in this trailer. We saw, not to spoil the trailer, but we saw our first look at a bloater. You know, we saw the winter scenes. We saw the action looks good.
Yeah,
the visuals look good.
That was something I totally kind of almost forgot. You know, I remember playing The Last of Us, but I totally forgot that like the seasons are a theme of each like kind of A, B, C, D storyline.
Right.
And it was cool to see like how they transferred from the summer to the winter in that trailer. I was like, oh yeah, that's right. That is like its own calling card in this series.
Those winter scenes, as we know from the game, not to spoil, because this is weird. We have to go back to spoiler, like being careful because it's going to be a show now. We can't talk about the game as freely as we would to not spoil the show for people who haven't played it. But the winter scenes are a pivotal moment in the game.
Yep.
Where there's a huge, stuff happens.
Yes, serious stuff happens.
Yeah, and seeing the tone and the cinematography and the visuals match that, really, really exciting.
Yeah.
Like you said, you're confidence. There's a confidence about it.
Yeah, and it really makes me feel like the people that were in charge of this I feel like they know what they're doing, and they're fans of The Last of Us.
It's
and they know.
Neil Druckmann. I mean, the
Yeah.
game director he's part of the staff. So
Right.
I think this has a chance to be one of, don't quote me on this, but one of the best video game adaptations we've ever seen.
Yep. So yeah, I like the way you rank this because I think we're going like most confident to least confident. So
Did I do that? Was that subconscious?
I think you might have.
Oh, yikes, I really did. Yeah, so so The Last of Us, it's going to be a hit. I joked while we were watching the trailer. So, like, how many Emmys does it win? 11, 12, 13? I think it could be in that discussion.
It looks very good.
Like you said, as long as the acting is up there, because the story's good, the visuals are good, the budget is there. It's just acting.
Yep. So HBO knows what they're doing.
Yeah. You know who else knows what they're doing generally most of the time is Disney with Marvel. We had our first look at Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Rich, first look at it. What are your initial reactions? It's the first time we've seen them in a long time.
Yeah. And I find it very interesting they're jumping to the 90s now because it seems like every movie they've progressively jumped. It's like the first movie was a 70s playlist. Guardians of the Galaxy 2 was the 80s playlist. Now this the theme song in the trailer was Space Hog, which I love. Space Hog was one of the first CDs I ever like bought and got my hands on a physical copy of, music media. So that was, that went right to my heart just hearing Space Hog. So yeah, I mean it sounds like they're progressing nicely with the story. There is definitely Adam Warlock.
Adam Warlock, yeah. We got a first look of him.
Yeah, that was cool to see. And I know him because of the Guardians of the Galaxy video game.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Like I feel like they've like had all these teases for Adam Warlock all of a sudden.
Yeah, he's a very obscure. I mean, I guess not obscure if you read the comics, but like I didn't know about him until I specifically read, weirdly enough, the Infinity Gauntlet part of the comics, just to see how the comics did it compared to what we actually got. He was actually a huge part of the Infinity Gauntlet stuff, but not so much in the MCU. So it's fun that they're bringing him in now. But what I like, going back to the music thing, and this just dawned on me that like the themes of the movie seem to kind of match like the themes of the music, right? Because like you got the 70s kind of like feel good, kind of like R&B, like, and the first movie was very comedic, very action packed. The 80s, kind of like the whole power ballad. There was like more of like I don't know, emotional thing to the whole thing with Peter Quill and his father and that whole storyline in the 90s. Seems they're taking a little bit of a grungier or like a harder look on things like Rocket. We see a young Rocket. This is gonna be a tough one. I feel like there's still gonna be the humor, but there's gonna be
that would make sense.
There's gonna be like some discourse there. There's gonna be some like
lean into that 90s grunge and hard rock.
But do you see what I mean about like the themes of the music? Garage rock. Yeah. But like it's gonna be tough times for the Guardians.
Yeah.
Because we have Rocket and his background. We see a young Rocket, which is gonna be heartbreaking. We see Peter Quill dealing with, trying to be a good guy, but then you see Gamora, of course, is back. So how do they deal with that? It's gonna be some tough times for the Guardians. Yep. And I'm kind of excited to see that.
Yep.
Speaking of Gamora, though, this was my concern. They got to address what in the hell is happening with the timelines / multiverse. Like, they need to start talking about these things in the MCU. They've been dancing around it for an entire phase.
I think they will with Guardians of the Galaxy. That seems like the movie to introduce another big point with whatever's happening in the universe of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Right.
And I would find it surprising if they don't confront the issue of Gamora from another timeline.
They have to. Right?
Yeah, I would be astounded if Marvel and Disney, they don't have some sort of either throwaway line or something to just they could even basically just say, oh, the golden timeline, what's it called? I forgot.
Sacred timeline.
The sacred timeline broke, so she's allowed to be in here now or something.
Just some like one off,
something like that. But I would be very shocked if they don't address that. I'd imagine that's going to be at least like a a B storyline in this movie.
Yeah. Well, I hope so, because this now, I think Guardians is the second Phase 5 movie. We have Ant-Man, obviously, which, weirdly enough, Ant-Man is always like the end or beginning of these phases.
Yeah, for some reason, yeah.
I don't know why.
Paul Rudd works his magic.
I don't know what like deal he made in some Marvel back room where he's just like the focal point of all these endings and beginnings. But I think Guardians is...
Paul Rudd is just so cool.
He is a cool guy. He seems like a cool guy.
I mean, I've heard stories that he's like legitimately like a cool guy.
You love to hear that. You hate to hear when like celebrities are actually like asshats behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Mark Wahlberg. So I've heard.
There you go.
But yeah, so Guardians I think is next up, and if Ant-Man introduces that multiversal stuff, Guardians has to continue to run with it to make that more connected web that MCU fans are looking for in Phase 5. Because Phase 4 was a lot of setting up. It was just setting up and setting up and setting up and setting up, but it wasn't really connecting. We needed to connect.
Right.
One thing that is completely disconnected, though, is Indiana Jones from reality.
Woo!
Indiana Jones is, yes, still actually a thing, guys. And this is the 5th movie in just as many decades, I think, because Harrison Ford is 80 years old, and he's still, is he still, correct me if I'm wrong, but he's still punching Nazis in this trailer.
Yes.
Which to me is weird, because I thought that he'd already defeated the Third Reich like at least 2 or 3 times.
No, it makes sense.
Okay, so you have a theory that you mentioned.
Oh, yeah.
I want you to lay it out for everyone.
Yes.
The title is Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. And you think that's a major, like, there's a major clue here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think I think this couldn't be any more obvious. Between the fact we saw him going after Nazis, between the fact that we clearly saw Harrison Ford de-aging in some of the scenes, this is going to be a time travel movie. Absolutely. This screams of it's going to be a time travel movie. Dial. What else are you going to dial? In terms of like historical lore and, you know, artifacts with supernatural powers, what else is a dial?
Right.
It's to turn back the clock.
It's to turn back the clock, yeah.
This is going to be a time travel movie.
So I will say this. On Wikipedia, just, you know, looking at the movie, just the premise, it seems like there may be there could be room for that time travel plot. So it's the backdrop of the space race in the late 60s. The U.S. government has recruited former Nazis to help beat the Soviet Union, and his granddaughter accompanies him on the journey. Meanwhile, NASA member and ex-Nazi involved with the moon landing program wishes to make the world into a better place as he sees fit. So, Nazis wanting to reclaim glory, how do you do that?
Yep,
you turn back the clock, right?
Yep, turn that dial back.
Space race, space, time. I can see where you're going with this. The dial, destiny, the Nazis trying to reclaim glory. It seems like it's heading in that direction, because what else, as you head further into the technological age, there's less room for the mysticism of the archaeological 30s and 40s. In the 30s and 40s, archaeology was like magic.
Right.
You know, the curses of the tombs.
Curses of
and
King
stuff
Tut,
like that. Yeah. You know, as you head more into the technology era, he says it in the trailer. He says, I don't believe in magic. This is a man who held the Holy Grail.
Yeah.
So he saw the Ark of the Covenant melt Nazi faces. I don't believe in magic. He goes, it also, dumbest line in the trailer, it just depends how hard you believe. What does that even mean?
Yeah.
How hard? You mean if I believe really hard that I have $1 million, I'll just have it? It's not magic. I just gotta. I don't understand the line.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
That's one of those. That line was written for the trailer. It was not written for a serious.
Good Lord, I hope
movie
they don't
scene.
say that. That's gonna be like the opening line in the movie.
Oh, I mean, they can cut it.
I have zero faith in Indiana Jones. Crystal Skull.
Absolute zero.
Zero. Crystal Skull.
Oh.
Killed zero.
Wow. Oh, okay. Wow. You went further than I did.
I'm going to approach this full cynic, because if the time travel plot is true, one, I dislike lots of time travel. Even in the MCU, which I love, the time travel is weird. It very rarely works. I would argue it never works. Even in beloved franchises like Back to the Future, still have plot holes and subject to grandfather paradoxes and all that stuff. So, one, the time travel thing, if that's true, don't like it. Two, Harrison Ford is too old. And what they're going to do here is they're going to use that de-aging tech that Marvel loves to use, because remember, Lucasfilm is under Disney, just like Marvel. They love de-aging people. They did it to Samuel L. Jackson. They did it to pretty much everybody in that franchise.
In some way, shape, or form, yeah.
So they're going to use that to bring back a young Harrison Ford, to disguise the fact that we're watching a retiree pretend like he can fight Nazis.
Yes.
It's very gimmicky to me. It's very cash grabby to me. If it's a time travel plot, even more so. They should have found a new Indiana Jones. You know, recast Shia LaBeouf. Get whatever other excuse you have here. Maybe Indiana Jones just like has an assistant now. You know, like a teacher's assistant. I don't know. Just come up with something, anything. I feel like cinema's moved on from Indiana Jones, and they constantly keep trying to go back. Crystal Skull was awful. I didn't like the alien plot.
Yeah.
And they continue to go in the sci-fi route because Indiana Jones is not sci-fi.
Yeah.
He's not supposed to. That's the whole point.
So, yeah, I mean, I definitely have my doubts about this movie as well, but I'll at least give it a shot in the dark.
I'll be there in theaters.
Literally a shot in the dark because you watch the movie in the dark.
Yes. That's the thing that annoys me is that I'll be there in theaters. Like, I know I'm not going to be able to avoid it, but I'm going to be upset that it's not good.
Well,
I already know. I can feel it.
Yeah. Mike is going straight out 0. I'll go like 15-20%. I'll give it a puncher's chance.
All right.
But,
I mean that's fair.
But
I can meet you halfway.
I saw the trailer and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is going to be a time travel. This is going to be time travel. This is just going to be, how can we get Harrison Ford to scrape by so that we can complete one more Indiana Jones movie?
Why do they keep dragging him back for these? They dragged him back for Star Wars twice.
Well, so I know
he needs money. I know the reason.
Yeah, but Indiana Jones, I feel like, is the one character Harrison Ford absolutely loves. He's always wanted to do more Indiana Jones movies.
He always kind of hated Han Solo.
Yeah, right? It's weird.
Like, you could
Han
tell.
Solo, he always actually was like, this character's stupid.
He really did.
Yeah.
Harrison Ford is such a... You said that Paul Rudd's a nice guy. Harrison Ford is such a... He's so annoying sometimes.
Harrison Ford?
Yeah. He hates every movie he's part of. He gets he does interviews. It's like, oh, are you excited? He's like, no, I hate it and I'm old. We get it. That's your shtick. You're old and you're grumpy. Go sit on your rocker. If you don't this is the thing that annoys me about Harrison Ford. He gets up there. He's pissed that he's part of these movies. Then stop doing them. Then stop doing. I do them if you're just gonna be pissed about it.
Money.
I just can't anyway.
Look, I gotta say though, for him to do that horrible cameo in Rise of Skywalker,
he's desperate.
No. I'm so glad he took Disney to the bank on that one. It was something like he got paid $9 million.
What?
Yeah.
For that?
Yeah. And he had
God.
4 lines in that?
Jesus Christ.
They literally just could have just put all of his lines on the cardboard and he could have read it all. He got paid for a day's work $9 million.
That's insane.
Take him to the bank because Disney messed that up.
And he didn't even need full makeup or costume because he was a ghost, so he was just blue.
Yeah, he's already old. He's already old
all
looking.
they had to do was put him in front of a plain colored wall and just CG around. He didn't have to do any acting.
Yeah.
He just stood there.
Yeah, and he got paid $8 or $9 million. And would that take 4 hours to film?
Not even that.
Yeah,
probably.
not even that.
If you
3
probably
hours.
read it off a cue card, he could do it in 2 takes.
Yeah. So you know what? I'm glad Harrison Ford took Disney to the bank for that ridiculousness.
Man.
So I respect Harrison Ford.
That's a disgrace.
Take that, Disney.
So there you go. You can sum up that segment with my reactions to those movies. The Last of Us, or trailers. The Last of Us, I said, how many Emmys is it going to win? Guardians of the Galaxy, I had some questions. Indiana Jones, I was not happy about that.
Yeah.
But I think all in all, a lot of exciting things coming up the next calendar year.
Yeah. Look, nevertheless, these 3 trailers did excite me.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to be there for every single one of them. So,
Yep.
it's
So
a
looking
good time.
forward to the mayhem in 2023. But for right now, we got to leave it there and go to our third and final segment. It is time for the non-fortune cookie odd news.
We've been talking about cool and its ramifications and how it applies to the hip scene. But maybe you could give us some examples now of the opposite of cool, uncool. Just exactly what is uncool?
My nipples look like milk duds.
Holy shnikes.
It's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news.
It's not of this world. I don't know exactly what it is or what it's doing, but this is not human intelligence, okay? It's not human intelligence we're facing.
How you doing? Me? I'm doing great.
Manda bastata. I don't make this stuff up.
I'll take a pound of nuts.
That's a lot of nuts! That'll be $4, baby! You want fries with that?
I seen the celery dance across the baseball fields.
You had me at meat tornado.
No, go past this part. In fact, never play this again.
Okay. What does that mean?
And now it's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news.
So sit back, get everything you need to get from the kitchen. Be sure and empty the bladders, go to the bathroom, because you're in for a hell of a ride.
Woo, odd news.
That's right, everyone. It's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news. Here in this segment, Rich researches the news, he reads the news, and I react to the news. He finds a weird and wacky story, and he keeps it hidden from me, which ensures that all of my reactions are my genuine gut reactions to hearing this story for the very first time. I don't know what's about to happen. You guys don't know what's about to happen. And even Rich doesn't know what's about to happen because these stories always take us down wacky and wild paths. And you mentioned mayhem in the entertainment entree, but the mayhem continues here in the odd news. Where is the mayhem occurring?
Now, who is this guy in Florida?
It's Florida, and they're crazy.
Yep.
I don't even know why I ask.
Yep, Florida just cranking them out.
That's right.
Yeah, we're trying to get to the year-end quota.
The Florida factory is in full swing.
Yep. This is a short story, but I know we always like to hear about some weird thefts and weird crimes and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
Well, in this quick case, we're following the case of 37-year-old Tracy J. Mofield. He decided to walk into a Walgreens in Monroe County, Florida, and tried to steal 6 of the most expensive electric toothbrushes at Walgreens.
That's weird.
Yeah.
I'd buy that for $1.
Well,
hey, you know what,
this
though?
is interesting because how much do you think 6 of the most expensive toothbrushes actually add up to?
I say about $1,100.
I'd buy that for $1.
Wow, Mike, you're actually
electric toothbrushes run between $100 and $200.
Mike, I should have got the Price is Right theme or something.
What was it?
You are pretty much dead accurate. it came out to $1,072 according to cops.
I went over.
You went over.
I lost.
Oh,
No,
you went over. If this was Price is Right rules, you went over. Oh.
Damn. That was close to that. That was good. Yeah, no, every time I see I get...
Damn it, I should have called Corey up. I could have got the Game Show Marathon people. We could have done a game show.
I'm really proud of myself. Yeah, because sometimes they come up as deals on Amazon Prime, and they're always like $200 marked down to like $120, you know?
Yeah, there you go. There's your bad sounder there.
But, you know, I'm going to say that going into Walgreens, other than the drugs, the most expensive stuff in the store would be the electric razors and electric toothbrushes, I think, right? Like, I don't think, what else do those places have? So if you're planning on hitting a Walgreens,
and you're not going to confront the cashier.
Right. You're not going to confront the cashier. You're not trying to take the drugs. Those are 2 really high-risk things to do. Next best bet, toothbrushes and razors.
Yeah. So according to cops, the man walked into the Walgreens around 10:40 a.m. He tried to put 6 of the electric toothbrushes into his pockets.
Okay.
Sure. He then just straight up walked out of the store as fast as he could.
I mean, yeah.
I like the fact it still said he walked out.
He didn't run.
No.
Running
he
is
was
suspicious.
Right. You're still doing that like fast walk.
He's doing
like,
he's,
yeah.
his arms are pumping.
Looks
you know?
like he has to take a crap or something. Oh, is that man stealing? No, he really just has to go to the bathroom.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, he's going to go outside.
So he fit them all in his pockets? That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
You have cargo shorts or something, like cargo pants?
I guess I guess you have enough pockets you can take care of it.
Another benefit to cargo pants.
Yep. Cops were able to find out that he was driving a white Lexus on his way out of the property. So they were going to confront him at mile marker 57. I guess that's their next highway nearby. Mofield sped away, but according to the police report, they did not pursue him for, quote, safety reasons.
Okay.
Interesting. They don't mention, like, did he have a gun or anything? Like, why is it safety reason?
I mean, I guess they didn't want to get into a high-speed chase.
Maybe. I don't know. I feel like that's like the cops being like, this put safety reasons.
They look at their watch like, it's almost time to clock out. I really don't feel like.
Yeah.
It's like when an email comes in at like 4:50, you're like, that's a tomorrow problem.
Yeah, I don't really want to do this right now.
I may not know my flowers, but I know a bitch when I see one.
Yeah. I there's because it doesn't say he had a gun or anything. He's just like,
Right.
Safety. Whatever. Just let him go on the highway. Well, apparently it worked because eventually cops did catch up to the Lexus that held the stolen man. Oh, because I said Lexus. There you go. We're good.
I think we're good.
Amazon's trying to get in on our action here.
Oh boy.
We'll be over in just a bit, Mr. Bezos. Don't worry.
That damn thing. I need to mute it before shows.
Yeah. So another pair of cops were able to find the vehicle.
Okay. So these are better cops, I guess.
Yeah.
Than the other ones that just decided,
and this is at mile marker 73. So I'm glad they put down these markers here. So this is.
So how many miles between 57 and 73?
Seems
seems
like
like
16 miles.
That's a lot.
If I did my math correctly.
Yeah, that's a lot of miles.
So these cops did their job and pulled him over.
That's probably the next county over. Those are the other county cops are better.
Yep.
I don't know.
When they searched him, they did not find the toothbrushes on him.
He's being tricky. He got rid of them.
Yep. He said in interrogation that, quote, I panicked and I threw them off the bridge. So the whole thing is for naught? What?
You didn't even, man.
Yeah. What kind of criminal are you?
I mean, I guess he thought like if they didn't find them, then he'd be okay.
No, you still committed a crime.
Yeah, because they saw. I mean, I assume because
this
they
isn't
saw
a murder.
Yeah,
it isn't like, oh, you didn't find the body. There's no murder. No, we have you on tape.
They probably have him on tape, right? They saw him leave the store.
We
like
have your car,
right?
Like,
no. And on top of all that, he admitted that he threw them away.
Yeah,
at least keep
he
plausible.
Gave up.
At least have plausible deniability. Like, that's not me in that video.
Right? You could have kept it going.
Right? Yeah.
So. I don't know. An interesting little case there. And also I never realized how expensive electric toothbrushes are if you put them together.
Yeah, man. That would have been a good haul.
$1,072 here.
Because like think about Walgreens, right? You walk in there to steal almost $1,100 worth of stuff. Like if you're stealing like, I don't know, toothpaste, you'd have to take like how many tubes of toothpaste? Or you could grab like 5 or 6 electric toothbrushes.
Yep.
It's pretty smart. Pretty smart.
Okay, so there you go. That's a quick Florida story there for you. And I know you like those weird theft stories. So
yeah.
I always try and keep an eye out.
Toothbrushes, that was a unique one.
Yep. All right, let's get to some more traditional odd news here.
All right, so people are naked and drugged.
Not exactly, but
Okay.
we just have a weird story here. So we're going to talk about 30-year-old Henry Capouch.
Capouch?
Yeah, wow, I just realized that sounds like
kapow.
Yeah, that sounds like a verb, onomatopoeia in like a comic. Capouch.
Yeah, it's a kapouch.
Capouch.
Instead of kapow, it's kapow that also gives an ouch.
Capouch. Ah. Capouch. Like that. Did that work?
That works.
Capouch. There you go.
It's you know what it is? It's when you go to throw a kapow, but then you get hurt.
Yeah,
and
you
say,
hurt
ouch.
yourself.
Kapouch!
Yeah, kapouch! Ow!
I like it.
Yeah, there you go. So, the case of 30-year-old Henry Capouch here. He is a Chicago cop who was vacationing
Oh, no.
in Florida.
Now, who is this guy in Florida?
It's Florida, and they're crazy.
So it's half Florida, half Chicago.
This is going to be a fun combination.
Yeah.
Good old Chi. I'm familiar with Chi-Town now because I visit JB out there in Chicago every once in a while.
But this story does take place in Florida, so I'm gonna. It's a Florida story.
Okay.
It's just that it has to deal with somebody who's vacationing. He's a wannabe Florida man.
Oh, those are scary.
Yep. So, according to police, an employee of the Jimmy B's Beach Bar in St. Petersburg, Florida.
Jimmy B's Beach Bar.
Yeah, what a name of that too.
JB3.
Yeah,
Jimmy B's. What was it? Jimmy B's Beach Bar.
Yep, Jimmy B's Beach Bar. Yep. He was walking home from the bar, getting to his hotel room around 12:30 a.m. when he attempted to go get ice from the ice machine.
Okay.
That's when he discovered 30-year-old Henry Capouch openly urinating into the ice machine. Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
There you go.
This cannot be made good. It's shameful. It's a shameful, shameful day.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh,
Just letting it
God.
whiz.
So you can't trust nothing.
You can't trust hotel ice.
No.
No. No. It's not at all what you think.
Look, man, here's my thing with hotels. I go in there and I want to touch as little as humanly possible. I want to sleep there as I don't even know what I'm trying to say. I don't want to be in hotels. That's what I'm trying to say. They're gross.
Okay.
Right?
There you go. Mike is not a fan of hotels, apparently.
I want to stay there as little time as possible. I want to touch as little as possible.
Even if it's like a fancy hotel?
I guess maybe if it's fancy, it might be a little bit better, but people just do the grossest things.
I don't have the name of the hotel, but it's right next. It's in walking distance of Jimmy B's Beach Bar.
All right,
so
I'm gonna do some.
So I can't imagine that it's like a 5-star hotel.
And this is in Florida.
It's St. Petersburg, Florida. So whatever is a hotel that's within walking distance of Jimmy B's Beach Bar, it's this hotel. So here's the kicker, though. This guy, Henry Capouch, he's from Chicago.
Right.
He is a police officer in Chicago.
Of course he is.
So I guess the moment you go across Florida state lines, that's it. Turning my badge in, I can do whatever I want.
That's it.
There you go.
Now, who is this guy in Florida?
It's Florida, and they're crazy.
Yep, there you go. I've waited my whole life to cross Florida state lines so that I can be a common criminal.
And then he just goes, and like as soon as he gets across the state line,
he shreds the cop uniform.
He's like, finally, I can be my true self.
I can be a criminal now. Yeah. This is my idea of a vacation.
That's really, oh man, you go from upholding the law to breaking it.
That's what Florida does to people.
That's what Florida, it is truly a corrupting place.
Yep. If you are interested, because he is a cop, I have his cop photo, and there he is. There's his mugshot on the left.
Looks like he fell on some hard times, man.
I mean, Florida does that to people.
Like literally on the one side, he's like just like a regular. He just looks like a regular dude. He's clean shaven. He's clean cut. He's got his uniform on, looking very crisp. He's got a strong jawline. His ears are sticking out.
It's like a before and after.
It is. And then in the mugshot, he's like literally, his eyes are like sunken. His hair is disheveled. He's got a beard. He's got a beard. He looks like the weight of the world is on his shoulders. Like in the one picture, he's hopeful. He's youthful. And then the next, he's been to Florida. I mean, that's the only way that I can describe it.
He looks so youthful, so full of hope. And then he went to Florida.
And now he's pissing in ice boxes. It is a corrupting presence. You cross that state line and just every sense of decency and shame just right out the window.
Yep.
You could be the best of us. The best of us. You cross that state line and you just, all bets are off. All bets are off. You are scum of the earth. Anything can happen in Florida. I've been to Florida. It's a dangerous place. You're this close from being Capouch.
Well, you know what? You never held a gun before, and then you went to Florida and you shot machine guns?
Shot multiple machine guns.
Yeah, there you go. You went across state lines, and all of a
I
sudden,
wore a fedora all week. I'm telling you, go to Florida, it's a different world.
You became a drug mule.
I became a drug mule. I was literally wearing like a pink, like patterned shirt, like a straw fedora, and shooting machine guns. Like it's a different place.
Oh my God! There you go. This is what Florida does to people.
Yeah.
If you have not been listening to the Crispy Noodle podcast all these years, we're giving you warnings here. Do not go to Florida.
Look, man, like this is like what 8-9 years of warnings. If you're not listening,
yeah,
I don't know what's wrong with you. But Capouch.
What
bothers me about peeing in the ice machine is I can kind of follow the logic, but it's super flawed. He's like, well, I gotta go, but it's inappropriate to pee on the ground.
Oh, he's trying to hide his junk into the ice machine.
He's like, I can't pee on the floor because then I'm just a dog, you know. So I know the ice machine's the next best thing to urinal.
Yeah, I mean, it is like a wide open receptacle.
But like, I feel like the floor is better than if you're like your mindset is like I don't want to be gross or I don't want to be inappropriate. The floor is better than the ice machine.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Not good. I can see the logic. It's just flawed.
Unfortunately, things got a little feisty here. Because then a hotel worker told Capouch to stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, please.
You're not allowed to do that.
Yeah, can you please not do that? Capouch then shoved him a couple times, according to the police report.
Lovely.
He also then shoved the security guard.
Okay.
That's when cops arrived, and they found Capouch and his girlfriend on the sand. Near, I guess this hotel is right up on the beach.
Oh, on the sand. I thought that was her name. And his girlfriend on the
sand.
On the sand. I was like, what? I'm like, what is that name?
Sandy. Yeah, that's what I needed. I needed the grease clip. Sandy.
Oh my God. the way you said that, and his girl, it sounded like and his girlfriend, comma, on the sand. Sandy.
No, this hotel's by the beach.
Okay.
So at this point, the girlfriend and Capouch are on the beach doing stuff. I don't know.
So he shoved people. Did he ever get his ice, or was he just there to pee?
I think he was just there to pee. He didn't.
Wait,
he didn't
they were
grab
on
any
the
ice.
beach. You go
by the cops arrived.
You go into the water.
I guess he didn't want to get his clothes wet. I don't know.
No, to pee.
I don't know. I guess he was afraid his clothes were going to get wet. I don't know what to tell you.
Oh, my God.
At this point, cops were about to arrest him when he physically resisted.
Uh-oh. That's not good.
Yeah.
Cops really don't like that.
Yeah. I mean, him being a cop, I would figure that would be something he should know.
Right?
So eventually they got him in the cop car, and he was charged with misdemeanor counts of battery and disorderly conduct. He got out of jail after posting a $650 bond. So there you go. That you're literally on the right, his steady, safe cop career life in Chicago. On the left, one trip to Florida.
One trip to Florida. It is such a fall from grace. It's wild.
Yeah. So
I've been to both of those places, and Chicago, you feel a little hopeful in Chicago because the whole city burned down, and all they talk about there is how they rose from the ashes like a phoenix. But in Florida, all they do is drag you down into the spiral of crime and deceit and shooting machine guns and peeing in ice machines.
Yep, just letting go in an ice machine.
That's right, yeah.
There you go.
Don't let the glitz and glamour fool you.
You could have an aneurysm on a toilet. You never know.
That's right.
Maybe he's afraid of the toilet.
Maybe.
Yeah.
They're scary sometimes.
Maybe he learned that from jail.
You could have an aneurysm on a toilet. You never know.
You never know.
You never know.
I love that line.
Yep.
Maybe toilets are scary sometimes, you know?
Yeah, especially when you're drunk.
Maybe he's like in Florida. Sometimes snakes come up. Sometimes snakes come up out of the toilet.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, maybe he was scared of Florida toilets,
like snakes and alligators and or whatever else is happening. Giant.
You
bugs.
could have an aneurysm on a toilet. You never know.
There you go. That's why you got to call the law offices of Crispy Noodle. We will find a defense for you.
That's right. That's right. Your Honor, my client was just scared of the toilet. That's why he peed in the ice machine.
There you go.
I don't think that's going to work.
It's worth a shot.
Anything's worth a shot at this point.
Yeah.
Who knows? In Florida, anything could happen.
Especially in Florida. Anything's worth a shot.
Right.
That should be the new motto of Florida. Anything's worth a shot.
Florida, it's worth a shot.
Yeah. Good luck.
Good luck.
It's worth a shot is the main motto, and then the secondary motto. Good luck.
Right.
There you go. And with that, that's what I have for you this week in the non-fortune cookie odd news. A duo of great Florida stories. I think we're on to something. Florida is like increasing its output before the year ends. Got to hit those ratios.
Really been impressed with their output.
Yeah.
Really strong fourth quarter.
Very good. Very good. Very good. But for right now, that will wrap it up for our show. This has been the Crispy Noodle Podcast. If you like what you heard, make sure you go to our website, thecrispynoodle.com. Make sure you follow us on all the social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff. But most importantly, make sure you find a way to subscribe so you get our podcast every week. You can do that either by subscribing on our YouTube page where you get the video feed every Wednesday night, whether it's Facebook Watch, where you can log into Facebook and watch us there from our Facebook page, or on Spotify, where you can get the episodes sent to your Spotify app and account. But the bonus with that is you can put Spotify on in the background, and you can listen to us as a traditional audio-only podcast as well. And you can bring us on the go if you use Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. It will all work with your Spotify app. So there is tons of ways that you can listen to the Crispy Noodle Podcast every week.
That's right. So many ways to check out the Crispy Noodle Podcast. But if you need to get in touch with us individually to share your sports, entertainment, or odd news stories, you can find us on Twitter. I'm at Mikey Costanzo, MikeyCostanzo.
And I am at Rich Liebig, RichLiebig. Find us on the Twitters. Let us know what's happening. If you've got an odd news story, send it my way so Mikey doesn't see it. Or if you just want a topic for us to talk about on next week's episode, send it to either one of us or at the Crispy Noodle Twitter account. And if we use it, we give you the coveted sausage shout out on the air. So make sure you send in those suggestions to our Twitter accounts. Whew, but right now, that will wrap it up for this week's episode. Thank you guys for tuning in and supporting us. This has been the Crispy Noodle Podcast. Let us be the Crispy Noodle in your vegetarian salad of life and boring news. That will do it. Anything else, Mikey?
It's worth a shot.
That's right, Florida. Florida, it's worth a shot. That will do it. We'll see you guys next week.
See you guys.
Later. Bye-bye, all you fine peoples. Good night.
Some of us have great stories, pretty stories that take place at lakes with boats and friends and noodle salad. A lot of people, that's their story. Good times, noodle salad.